All right. We are live. Hello, everybody. This is Vibe Check. We are back with another episode. I am joined today with Melissa, who is one my colleague, but also a co-host with me today. And we have Lizzie Siegel here, who is from DigitalOcean. She's going to get into OpenClaw. We're really looking forward to diving into all the things around autonomous agents. So thank you for being here, Lizzie. Thank you for being here, Melissa. Lizzie, you want to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yes, thank you, Melanie. I'm Lizzie. I'm a developer advocate at DigitalOcean, and I live in San Francisco. And as a developer advocate, because you probably know Melanie and Melissa, we make demos, we make videos, educational content, work on docs, give workshops. Uh, what else? A lot of different things.
We do a lot of things. We try to help people internally understand everything and all the problems that need to be solved for and what to do differently in the product itself. Yeah, there's a lot of great things that we're doing. So you are going to show us today your experience with OpenClaw. And I'm just going to mention that if there are anybody, who's joining us live and you have questions, feel free to put those into the chat. We'll be keeping an eye out for that. If you want to share anything about like if you're trying out OpenClaw yourself and what those challenges look like, feel free to throw that in. But yeah, Lizzie, you want to tell us a little bit about what is OpenClaw from what you understand and why you wanted to experiment with it?
Yes, I think I've been making AI demos for a few years now, and I'm very excited by agents. I think everyone is. Agents were having a moment and they're still having a moment. And I think agents are a huge example of what AI can do for us. And I think it's how a lot of people view the future and have viewed AI growing up. Agents can take action for us. They can automate a lot of our life. And I think before OpenClaw, we didn't have many tangible examples. Like I've hosted quite a few agent hackathons, and a lot of people would submit apps, submit projects that were not agents. I was like, that's an app. Or,
Yeah, everybody's been talking about how much they can't wait to see agents and agents taking actions on our behalf, which we're starting to see more and more, right? I know we were talking a little bit before we started this about how like we've seen Claude, taking actions on our behalf for when we're working with it with code, when we can let it go ahead and start to make changes across the code base or even use commands in the terminal. Cloud Code is getting interesting in that regard. And so agents and agents acting on our behalf are definitely very fascinating.
yes. And I feel like OpenClaw, Moltbot, whatever it is now, OpenClaw it is now, really took off because this was one very tangible example of an autonomous agent that could integrate with a lot of different platforms and apps, and you could make skills for it.
And it's open
And
source
it,
too.
yes, which is very cool because a lot of AI stuff is not open source.
Open source can run on your own device and you can keep everything on your own device technically, right?
I think so.
I think so.
I haven't actually tried to define it like that.
But that's what I
Yes,
understand is that you can run it and possibly contain it to your device potentially.
that sounds right. And that sounds good, I
That sounds
think.
sounds good to me. Well, do you want to show us what you've built and what you have tried building in the past with OpenClaw? And because I think you were talking about demonstrating specifically doing this live, even.
Yes. So today I'm going to build an OpenClaw bot live on DigitalOcean, and we're going to add a skill from ClawHub. And we're not going to make a skill, but I will tell you how to make a skill and some lessons learned from a skill that I made that is no longer working. Uh, or it could work, but I will not use it anymore. And I will tell you why soon. Okay. Going to share
Can't
screen.
wait.
And for those who are just tuning in, feel free to sound off in the chat where you're tuning in from, what city. I'm also based here in the Bay Area. I know Lizzie just said she's in San Francisco. Melanie's also in San Francisco as well. So we have a whole Bay Area house
We definitely have a Bay
today.
Area house happening today.
Oh, love that for us.
I know.
And
We could
Melissa
have
and I
done
are,
this all in the same space, actually.
We could have we could have
one
done
But
day,
we're
this
not.
live.
one day. And if you're a basketball fan, Melissa and I like the Warriors.
Yes.
Uh, they're your favorite team.
Dubs fans
So
in the chat, maybe?
they're not doing that well right now.
They're okay. Yeah, and we can go on a different, that can be another live
That's a
stream.
whole nother stream. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So here I am in the DigitalOcean marketplace, and the marketplace has a lot of apps that you can install on your droplets. A DigitalOcean droplet is a virtual machine that you can spin up, a VPS, so you can host a lot on this server. Before, when OpenClaw took off, people were already deploying OpenClaw on DigitalOcean droplets. And then within like a week, the DigitalOcean team made this one-click deploy. So all they're going to do is click this button, and then we'll get started with deploying OpenClaw on DigitalOcean droplets. And there are multiple ways you can host on DO as well, but this is my favorite way. It's the fastest, and Melanie's going to share a blog post tutorial on the other ways that you can host, but this is my go-to way.
Nice.
You pick a region like San Francisco. We have the app already selected, OpenClaw 3.2 on Ubuntu. We pick a size of the CPU for the droplet. I usually do $12 to $18 a month. They say $6 a month. The size does not have enough disk space to support the image you selected. I'm not a hardware person. Anyone here want to go dive into that more?
I mean, in terms of the hardware itself, I know like it's a matter of being able to run the model, and models are getting more and more efficient, so they don't need as much in terms of size of GPUs. But you still want some level of memory on your GPU to be able to run it. And it looks like, the actual disk space as well. I'm guessing that's for the data that it's possibly storing and working off of and engaging with. So the transfer is interesting too. Yeah, I could see that being, depending on the size of the research and the work that you have it doing, it will still constrain it, but it's still very doable.
Very beautifully put. I like that.
Thanks.
For authenticating, I always do SSH key. I think it was the IDK, which I probably should have named better, but as programmers, we know that naming themes is not easy.
The
You get
hardest thing.
frustrated. You get frustrated one time and then name something wrong for the rest of your career. I'm gonna give this a name: Temporal Stream OpenClaw. I usually give tags like my name, but keep it simple, and then pick a project. My project, Lizzie Demos, and then click Create Droplet. And that was more than one click, but one click to start, I think.
We won't count all the clicks it took to enter text and things like that.
I see you still got the one from She Ships from the other day too.
Yes, let's look at all the droplets. I was trying to hide. I just made one to test like half an hour ago.
Yeah.
It's like, no, maybe people won't know that I was nervous and I tested this ahead of time.
No, it's all very, very live and real. No, I mean, it is live and real, but testing a little bit ahead of time, not a problem.
Because like OpenClaw is moving so quickly that I'm going to be honest, I've had bots stop working on my WhatsApp. So it's like I'm chatting with it on WhatsApp one day, and then later that day, WhatsApp just stops responding. And then the next day it comes up again. And I'm like,
why is it doing that?
I don't even know.
Yeah.
Can you talk about that the WhatsApp being the interface when talking with OpenClaw? Like is that the main UI, I guess, to communicate with your OpenClaw bots? I was gonna say CloudBot, but OpenClaw bots.
I like WhatsApp because I use WhatsApp more than the other options, like Telegram. I think Telegram is pretty popular, but I communicate with friends and group chats on WhatsApp, so I feel like I'm in that app anyways.
Mm-hmm.
But we will see shortly that the way WhatsApp works on OpenClaw is you're chatting with yourself. So if I were to show my screen, it would be like me chatting with my phone number. And then the OpenClaw message will have prepended like OpenClaw in brackets and then the message. So that's how you know that OpenClaw sent the message back to you while you're chatting with yourself in WhatsApp.
And you're
So
basically
meta.
using WhatsApp as your interface to OpenClaw to then basically interface with your machine. In this case, it's going to be the Droplet, but like if you had it running on your laptop, it would be interfacing with your laptop. We're not saying you should necessarily do that. There's definitely risks to that, but that's also why you're doing the Droplet, because it's a more contained space.
Yes. And I have tried Telegram, but I haven't been able to get Telegram open on my laptop. And I do like chatting on like desktop WhatsApp because I can just drop in some files to
Mm.
OpenClaw to give it more context, or like I can add a skill by dropping in the skill.md file.
Nice.
So
I was
you could
looking
do that probably from your phone, but
I was looking at this morning too and thinking about how, I mean, we're seeing so much uptick in terms of interest around deep research, right? And deep research is this concept of having like agents going out and getting a lot of content and then working off of that content and taking additional action. Well, maybe not taking actions, but possibly taking actions because they might be going out to get more information to further research the topic that they're trying to do. So OpenClaw has that potential to be that deep research. It has that potential to be that action taking, like building out your travel and taking a number of actions to book it. And those questions of like how much flexibility and autonomy do you want to give it?
isn't that the question that we're all asking?
Well, do you want to show and then we can talk a little more about that?
Oh yes. Oh, I was thinking about that. I was like, oh,
Yeah, think on
it
that
depends.
because I know you've got some examples.
Yeah. Okay. So our droplet is ready, and we're going to copy this IP address.
Great.
I'm going to go to my terminal, and I'm going to SSH in. And I always say, like, I remember back in college, I would SSH into so many of the computer lab machines, and I did not SSH after graduation until this year. And I'm like, I keep on SSHing in so much that that's how you get access to your droplets to another machine.
Totally understand
So
that.
we SSH at IP, and then we want to continue connecting. And now we select an AI provider, an LLM provider. We could do OpenAI, Anthropic, OpenRouter, an OpenClaw model setup. I have never done any of those. I have always done Gradient AI number one, which is like the DigitalOcean model provider. And we're going to go to model access keys. And we're going to click create model access key, temporal,
I am going to.
temporal stream key. Add model access key. Copy this, and I will be probably deleting that later. Paste that in.
Oh, I was.
It's been giving me the please ignore the gateway connect failed error for the past week, I think.
Hmm. It's funny, I don't even see the error. It just says to, oh, there it is. Okay. It comes afterwards.
And
Shell,
I
yeah.
shell, yeah. It has like really funny sayings, I guess.
It's kind of like the Anthropic loading or Claude Code loading
Yeah.
verbs that they use, like lollygagging or like tooting and
Discombobulating.
hollering. Yeah.
I usually ignore period automation. We can do that later. But for now, let's see. OpenClaw. There's some directions, I think. Where is it? This is another blog post that we'll drop in the chat and you will have access to later. But they say,
Mm.
So a question I know that came up that's I think a good one is around like what can it do that a chat interface can't? I think the big thing to keep in mind with OpenClaw, because some chat interfaces, well, pretty much all the chat interfaces have some boundaries on what they are able to engage with. Some of them don't even have the ability to take actions. So like there's the chat interfaces that we've all known for a while now that don't take any actions. There are some that are starting to be able to be empowered to take actions. They might still have to verify things with you, but you have to confirm and let them have access to like folders or to certain parts of the system. And there's some that, you know, and this is an example of one where you're giving it access to the root of your computer that it's running on. And so it's able to take actions that, granted, based off of a goal you'll give it, but it can make decisions and take actions and have a lot more freedom, so to speak, which also you'll hear lots of stories if you look for it of ways in which it's gone awry and things that it's doing that's bad.
I think, and then the other side of the folks who were probably excited about using OpenClaw are the ones who just love running their own systems on their own on local machines and don't want anything going through any cloud or internet services. So when they finally had something like OpenClaw where, you know, I could own everything, then they jumped at the opportunity to use it there.
Yeah.
we will shortly see we can give OpenClaw access to Google Drive, Gmail, your calendar. And now we have OpenClaw running in the terminal. It's the fruit tree company, Apple. We can type in like a question like, what is your name? And this is just to confirm like it's working before we configure WhatsApp. And it's saying I haven't chosen a name yet. That's its response. We got the response, and now to configure WhatsApp, we run this command, channels add. I'm gonna get out my WhatsApp. Configure chat channels now. People like Telegram. I use WhatsApp. Let me know if you try Telegram yourself. Default link WhatsApp now. Gets the QR code. So if you were to take out your own phone, you'll go to WhatsApp and then go to linked devices under settings.
It's the QR code is, I think, not fully being visible on the screen. It's slightly cut off, so it might be something that people can. Let's see. I don't know if you can make it a little smaller.
I think I was able to get it.
Cool.
I think I got like the edges. Going to stop sharing temporarily while I type in my personal phone number.
I think that's a great idea.
That's not something you can easily change after stream.
No.
Yeah, I did not even think that through.
And while you're doing that, Angela, thank you for some of the great questions. CoWork there's some similarities there. CoWork is still given some level of constraint because it's usually you only give it access to a specific folder or folders and ask for it to work out of that. And actually, we had been chatting about that before in terms of, comparing the two. I know CoWork's only been around for a couple months, similar to OpenClaw, which, let's face it, OpenClaw used to be called CloudBot and then MopBot, and now it's called OpenClaw. And part of that was because it was inspired by some of the things that Claude has been doing, which is, related to CoWork and so forth.
Yeah.
But yeah, CoWork is trying to provide more guardrails and trying to create a space that, it can allow things to take action, be autonomous, but not fully take over your computer, which it's still a debate. What are the use cases you would want for certain devices and certain tools like this? What kind of problems do you want them to solve?
Yeah. WhatsApp is configured. I would show you my WhatsApp, but it has my phone number in it because I'm chatting with myself and I'm chatting with my phone number. Now, let us add a skill. And
And
you
what are
can,
skills?
skills are, I don't want to say tool. I guess not functions, but tools. So you can combine functions to take action for you. So for example, where are we? ClawHub at clawhub.ai. You can see a lot of popular skills that people can give their OpenClaw bot access to. Like Slack, Trello, those are highlighted. You can find skills via chat, I guess. So give a skill to find a skill, very meta. GitHub. So I wish I could show you my messages from a few weeks ago when I was vibe coding from WhatsApp,
Oh,
which makes sense because if you have OpenClaw connected to like WhatsApp or whatever, it's kind of like you can give it access to GitHub, and it was like pushing code for me.
nice.
Yeah. And it doesn't say push code from like Lizzie. It says push code from like OpenClaw bot or something.
Nice. So you can keep track
And
of
like the
what's
commit.
the code that it's committing. Nice.
Yeah. So for now, let's install ClawHub, and we're going to install Summarize. I think that's like simple. I'm going to install globally ClawHub.
Has anyone here watched the movie Everything Everywhere All at
I
Once?
love that movie. I got like a bunch of people
Yes.
to go
One
see
of
it when it
my
came out.
one of my
Oh my God.
most favorite movies ever. So whenever I think about skills, I think about how when they're trying to like time jump or like switch the universe or ability for anyone watching and who's watched it as well, and they have to kind of do something funny to like slingshot them into another dimension to give them another ability. That's how I imagine skills. Is just being able to plug in this thing to your already existing thing, and then now you just have this ability to do like specialized action. But yeah, that's literally what I visualize my Claude or whatever I'm using is doing whenever I'm giving it a new skill.
I like this because you know what? That makes me think of The Matrix, which was a lot farther back, and where Keanu Reeves says, I know Kung Fu after he plugged in a
I
skill.
heard that exact analogy actually,
Yeah.
Melanie.
That's exactly what just jumped into my head. But I completely relate to also the example from that movie, Everything Everywhere All at Once, which I love. And by the way, Lizzie, you got a shout out saying Jawahir saying, great to see the
Oh my
collab with Lizzie.
God, Rohit. We went to college together. I told Andrew Baker about you, and he was like, "How do you know?" I was like, "Oh my gosh."
I think
Oh,
she mentioned something, Anasa Kata?
oh. Anasa Kata. That's like the one like a Bryn Mawr saying in like Latin. Like not our motto, it's like something, but it's like cheering someone on. So like at
Nice.
weddings I go to for Bryn Mawr like classmates, someone says Anasa Kata, and it's like if someone were to graduate or succeed, it's like Anasa Kata. So,
Love
That's
it.
so
oh,
cool.
that's good. Okay, back to work.
Back to
Uh,
work. What are we
we
showing?
are we are installing Summarize, and then we're going to go back to the terminal, which I can show you because I can show you. Oh no, rate limit exceeded. I've never seen that.
Let's find out. Oh, we did.
Oh no.
Haha. Well,
I'm going to be honest, like this worked when I tested it like half an hour ago.
fair. That's okay.
Always how it happens.
This is how live works. Sometimes it works the way you expect, and
Oh,
sometimes it doesn't.
good. I think you're supposed to you can make a separate folder, the specific workspace.
All right.
So you have to summarize like a skills workspace. That's where you put skills.
Okay.
I guess that, yeah, just say install it somewhere. Does anyone have like a web page to summarize to test this?
Ooh, great question. Why don't we,
Anything I should Google so I can pull it up, or you can send it, or
let's see. Actually, you want to do a summary of the exposure watch board?
yes.
Here we go. I was sharing the exposure watch board is an interesting one if you want to see the OpenClaw exposures that are out there. I love the names though that it uses. So what is something you both would want to build with CloudBot? Well, I guess we already have the summary. Sorry, OpenClaw. I have a habit of calling it CloudBot sometimes.
They changed their name 3 times in like the span of a week, so I don't blame you.
I think I
Um,
saw.
I
Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say I think the use case that Lizzie shared with us prior to stream is a really helpful one. It was booking uh, slots. What do you call those? Like court time, Lizzie?
Yeah.
Court time
Uh,
for her local tennis courts or pickleball courts, I believe, because that is that's also a huge thing that's big here in the East Bay. And we have open courts, but open courts they just tend to run longer and people hog courts. So you want to go to something a little bit more private, but you'd have to reserve them and camp out. So having a bot that just like manages all of the things that I need to book and I don't have to think about it. For me right now, it's my Pilates classes. So I have to just go on wait lists and hope for the best that I'll be on because
yeah.
I don't want to wait until when the class is open. So
I could see this being useful for parents who are trying to get camps or something like that
Mhm.
scheduled for their kids or different things that they're trying to set up for their
Mhm.
kids.
That is a good segue to the one skill I've made that I no longer use because Big Club banned my account for a day because they were like, you're doing some suspicious activity. And I was like, how did you know? But of course they knew because I made this skill to auto book course for me. Because as Melissa said, there's a lot of aspects of her life that are like, you have to wait in line, like Ticketmaster, or it's like,
mhm.
or Pilates classes, or tennis course, or pickleball course. Like, you have to reserve, and then the reservations open at a certain time. And if you don't reserve right away, you probably won't be able to book. So I thought I could automate that using a tool called Browser Base, which is kind of like Playwright. You can browser web browser automations. So you can programmatically open up a headless browser and then go to a website. It can type in text boxes for you. So I log in to my Big Club account for me with my username and password, click a button, log in, and then go to the court booking, search the court bookings, book something for me, and then an agent books that for me.
Nice.
And with OpenClaw, you can set like cron jobs. You can say like check routinely or set
Mm.
like at this time, do this. But they can go into like the ethics of headless browsers, browser automation. And that is against the terms of service. So that's why my account was temporarily banned.
And that is fair. So definitely use with caution. Well, and then did we get and this is great. Was there something else you wanted to show around the Bay Club skills bot that you built or skills that you built?
So for all your skills, you have to have a skill.md file, which is like the root of your skill. And it has name, description, some metadata, uh, and then kind of instructions. So I tell it like use, um, run this command, and this is needed for hubs browsers, and then run this file, passing in date, time, and club as like parameters to the functions. And then it has some code functions that I did not write here as well. So this is some of the scraping, like login, parse day. So if the user says verbal, like types in check course for Friday, it knows what day it is.
Nice.
And the calendar aspect. And this is all open source, but you can find it on ClawHub as well.
Thanks for sharing that. And I'm going to just show some resources that we were talking about if people want to look at this for later. You can check out specifically this tutorials on how to run OpenClaw. And the Matin AI, Lizzie, you were sharing that because that's a number of different type of skills and stuff that people can plug in.
Oh, yes. So Matin.ai is an easy way with one API key to configure your Gmail, your Google Calendar, Google Docs, Slack, Google Drive, giving your OpenClaw bot access to all of those services. Nice. So it can like check your email for you and like add to calendar.
All the things you can plug in. If you want to play around with durable AI agents, I've got a couple different QR codes up on the screen for a second, so you can pull from some of the resources that we have at Temporal. And of course, we've been saying this on all of our streams because we do have replay coming up, which is our big Temporal conference where we will get into the weeds of how to run certain things and deal with running things at scale in production, the problems that people are experiencing in many well-known companies, and what they do to solve those kinds of problems. So you should come and check it out and use this code that I have up on the screen if you want 85% off of your ticket. And then next week, actually on Thursday, we are going to have Mark and Donald here, and we're going to talk about agent skills and Vercel skills and really get into what it's looking like to get LLMs more understanding like the context of specific companies and products and things that are out there when they're trying to give you direction in terms of how to build your code or build products or build whatever you're building. And then Lizzie, how did it go with the brew install? Still going?
Still going.
All good. Seriously, thank you for showing us setting up the Droplet and showing us what it looks like to set up the Claw. And
yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah, seriously, and talking to us about it. Was there anything else you wanted to share before I close this out?
I can't wait to see what you build with OpenClaw. I think it is still so new, and as I mentioned, like it stops working for me occasionally. Like it's still very new, but that just means that we are all beginners now, and I can't wait to see what you build on OpenClaw. It's like a bonkers time to be a builder right now, where so much is happening so fast. We're all beginners now, and I think that's very accessible. Where it's like kind of comforting, where it's like we're all learning together.
Sure. I love that. I love that. And also Melanie kind of talked about it earlier, and we'll definitely link it at the end, but Lizzie's full 7-minute demo that she actually presented in person will be shared after. And she showed where she actually chatted with her Claude bot. Oh my goodness, now I'm doing it. Her OpenClaw bot through WhatsApp live in a 7-minute demo too. So that it was really awesome. So we'll definitely share that out after this. Thanks for coming on here, Lizzie.
Thank you so much for having me, Melanie and Melissa.
Yeah, and hopefully we'll get you back and we'll do some more fun stuff with autonomous agents because I have no doubt that's going to continue. We can start getting different ones talking to each other. It'll be interesting. All right. Thanks everybody for watching.